Live from NBC4, the station working for you, Southern California's #1 news, the Channel 4 News.
A plume of smoke in the city of Hawthorne, an ominous sign that a troubled aircraft that just took off didn't make it. Now the NTSB is investigating a deadly plane crash that killed 4 people. Good afternoon and welcome to the Channel 4 News for Sunday, May 28, 2000. I'm Manny Medrano, and at the top of the news at 4, we're now learning that the victims of a deadly plane crash may have been a family of 4. Channel 4's Sonia Crawford is live in Hawthorne with the latest details. Sonia, what happened out there?
Well, that's exactly what they're trying to figure out, Manny. I'm on El Segundo Boulevard, just east of Hawthorne. You can see behind me that there's a big truck there that is just in front of the debris, what is left from this plane crash. They're in the process of removing the bodies right now. Investigators from the FAA and NTSB are coming out to try and figure out what went wrong, what caused 4 people to die.
I looked off to my right, and there was this noise, and just suddenly a noise, and then a plane crashed, and when it crashed, it exploded into a fireball.
This is what Yancey Hawkins saw, a small plane completely engulfed in flames. His first thought was for survivors.
I jumped out the vehicle and tried to run over to see if I could save any lives, and it was nothing because by that time a second explosion occurred, and it knocked me back, and I just had to get out of there.
The single-engine Piper had left Hawthorne Airport around noon, headed for Las Vegas, when something went wrong. As the pilot tried to turn around, the plane nosedived into the back parking lot of a Hawthorne strip mall, narrowly missing a Taco Bell.
Very loud, the sound, so we laughed because we were scared because as we saw the burn, it's a fire, yes.
Big fire?
That's big fire.
The burning plane knocked over that black power transformer you see there, setting off several explosions after the crash. Witnesses and firefighters say the people inside never had a chance to get out. Now, there's still no power in many of the businesses here, including this Taco Bell you see here, which is still closed. Of course, Edison is on scene looking into that. El Segundo Boulevard is also closed just east of Hawthorne. Now, the 2 adults and 2 children who were inside, the flight crew, the people over at Hawthorne Airport say that they assumed they were a family when they got on the plane. A lot of officials here say that despite the tragedy of this situation, it is fortunate that no other people got hurt on the ground, especially since this did hit an electrical transformer and there were several explosions in the area. Live in Hawthorne, Sonia Crawford, Channel 4 News.
Sonia, thank you for that report. Now, a husband and wife stunt flying team were killed this weekend practicing for an air show in Florida. Daniel Heligon and Montaigne Mallet were practicing over Flagler County Airport north of Daytona Beach yesterday when one of the plane's wingtips struck the other and they both crashed to the ground. The French-born couple had been flying together for the past 20 years. They call their act the French Connection. And sadly, another deadly crash, this time in Florida. The pilot of an ultralight was killed today when his aircraft hit a power line. Here was the scene near Miami. Witnesses say that the ultralight was having engine problems. When the aircraft hit the wire, the ultralight crumbled to the ground, killing the pilot on impact. The NTSB is now investigating this crash. And on a different note, authorities in Louisiana say that it may be days before evacuees are allowed back to their homes near the wreckage of a derailed chemical train. The train jumped the tracks and then caught fire yesterday in a rural area of central Louisiana. Now, exploding chemicals sent fireballs hundreds of feet into the air. More than 3,000 people are still in shelters as fires continue to smolder near overturned tank cars. George Faust has more on this spectacular and very dangerous accident.
The accident happened just 500 yards from Mike Bozanet's home.
I told the wife, I said, no, it can't be a train. I said, it's too loud. And she walked to the front door. When she looked out, a big old ball of fire, And when I walked out, you could feel the heat.
State police say a Union Pacific train carrying hazardous material derailed near Eunice, causing large explosions. At this time, there are no reports of injuries, but officials say the 30 derailed cars still pose a threat.
A couple of cars are pressurized, and there have been some explosions. They're carrying hazardous materials, solvents, acids, stuff like this.
Those chemicals have emergency crews evacuating people living within a 1-mile radius of the area.
How's the evacuation going? Evacuation's going well, except for the sightseers.
Evacuees are being held at the LSU Eunice campus until emergency crews give the okay for them to return home.
Now, that was George Faust reporting. Now, state police had some good news for residents today, though. Tank cars filled with two of the most dangerous chemicals on the train, fortunately, did not explode or burn. Now, two men are very lucky to be alive today after their car collided with a blue train in downtown Los Angeles. The blue line was nearing the end of its 22-mile trek from Long Beach when the accident occurred at Venice Boulevard and Flower Street. Police say the car headed east on Venice cruised through a red light and slammed into the train. The car ended up underneath the train. The two victims were freed by the jaws of life and suffered only minor injuries. That's truly miraculous. Now, 7 people were injured today after a frightening 4-car crash on the 710 freeway, and the driver who caused the big mess took off without stopping. The accident in Florence, where 2 of the cars overturned, one of the victims was trapped inside the wreckage of their car. Doctors say that 1 person is in critical condition, 3 have lesser injuries, and 3 others were slightly hurt. Right now, investigators are looking for the hit-and-run driver in a compact car with an orange stripe on the back. Now, what to do about illegal drag racing? The LA City Council is expected to consider a tough crackdown on the dangerous sport this week. 8 people have been killed in the past 12 months in the San Fernando and Antelope Valleys in accidents related to drag racing or intentional speeding. Now, from time to time, police have conducted sweeps and cited drivers for speed and equipment violations. Now, Councilman Hal Bernson wants to give police authority to arrest spectators and impound vehicles of the racers. And officials in West Hollywood are being asked to take action to stop the popular pastime of cruising in Sunset Boulevard over the weekend. Doug Kriegel was out there last night, and he reports that the cruisers were also out in force.
There is a massive crackdown on cruising Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood on Saturday nights. These young men were stopped because their car was making excessive noise, and sheriff deputies are out in force on Friday and Saturday evening. Many merchants and residents here are asking the West Hollywood Council to pass the non-cruising ordinance.
Well, the victims are the residents and the businesses. I mean, right now, if you're a resident in the hills, it's impossible to get to your home quickly on a Friday or Saturday night. And if you own a business, you lose a lot of business because a lot of your customers don't want to spend half an hour in traffic.
Sunset Boulevard is sort of a river of traffic on Saturday nights. The cruising ordinance would fine people who keep driving down the same street all night long. Still, many folks here believe that young drivers have a right to cruise. It's a California tradition, they say.
They can't go to clubs. They probably can't afford to, let's say, go to nice dinner places. So yeah, they are enjoying the beautiful Sunset Plaza, and they're enjoying other people that are young. So I don't think that cruising should be banned.
Doug Kriegel, Channel 4 News.
Well, now it's a hot holiday weekend, and forecasters say that we're baking under record heat today in Southern California. Now, take a look at this, a sign of summer approaching. It was 103 degrees according to that sign here in the San Fernando Valley today, and it wasn't even 11 in the morning yet. But will it cool off down for your day off tomorrow? Paul Johnson has the answer. And Paul, 103, that seems a little bit high.
You can't believe the bank signs. It's an indicator that it's going to be hot. However, usually they run a little bit high, but it's been pretty hot weather in the valleys. That's why everybody is headed to the beach. Look at all the folks down at Venice Beach right now. Grand spot to be. We had some temperatures in the 80s down along the beach. Now, very hot temperatures in the valleys. We'll check them out for you. Santa Barbara had a high today of 77. Santa Monica, 81. Here in Burbank, high was 92. Santa Clarita, 91. Chino got up to 97. Palmdale, 97. In Fullerton, it was 89 degrees. Palm Springs up to 107. And if you live in Blythe, you were cooking. It was 112 degrees today. One more day of very hot weather, steamy weather in the valleys, and then we'll start to cool things down for you. AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up soon. Maddie, back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Paul. Well, Memorial Day celebrations are taking place all over the country this weekend, but the most unique is taking place in the nation's capital. Rolling Thunder has now become an annual event drawing thousands of people. And tragedy here in the Southland. One of the founders of the Harlem Globetrotter basketball team and his wife are stabbed to death. And tonight here on NBC4, we will air a special called Seeds of Peace, a look at how young people here in the Southland are turning away from violence. We'll have a preview when the Channel 4 News returns.
Monday on Today in LA.
Do you work out but still feel overweight? It doesn't mean you're out of shape. How to be fit even if you're not thin.
Plus, it's a learning experience that can bring out the best in children, break through new ideas to teach kids.
I'll cover all the Monday morning traffic problems. And how about the holiday weather? have it all for you today in LA.
Hey, the rhythm is gonna get you with Gloria Estefan live on the plaza. Brought to you by the Incredible Edible Egg and the Today Show on NBC.
The most unusual thing about the deliveries is just the fact that they're all so excited to see me. No joke, little kids will be bouncing up and down, and all in unison they yell, "Hi, Peach Guy!" But I like being called a Peach Guy, as long as it's, I'm in my peach uniform.
People think you're a park ranger?
A park ranger? I've never been called that before.
I think I've been involved in the walk for probably 9 years. At the AIDS Walk, there's also a huge quilt that's often on display with the names of those who have died from the disease. And I remember a mother once giving me a bracelet with her son's name on it. And she asked me to wear it, and I did for quite some time. And it was important, I think, to both of us. She gave me something, and I felt I had given as well, just by becoming part of this event.
Void where prohibited. Offer only good in select markets. Not available on vehicles shown. Just a few of the words you won't find in our fine print. Introducing Mitsubishi's No Excuses event. Get 1.9% APR for 5 years when you buy any new 2000 Mitsubishi, the fastest growing Japanese car company in America. Oh, and don't worry. Hurry, Mitsubishi's No Excuses event won't last long.
NBC4 thanks Robinsons May for their generous support of closed caption programming.
Welcome back. Now, police are investigating a brutal double murder in South LA this afternoon. The victims include the 90-year-old co-founder of the Harlem Globetrotters and his wife. Now, Channel 4's Fernell Chapman is in the newsroom with the very latest. Fernell?
Family members say it was the work of a cowardly savage. An elderly couple, each stabbed numerous times. The husband was well known for his charity. The wife had been confined to a wheelchair for the past 4 years.
I don't understand how people could have brutally and savagely murdered an elderly couple, one of which was confined in a wheelchair and had a cast from her waist all the way down to her feet.
Albert Patton was 90 years old. His wife Edna was 85. Their bloodied bodies were found in their southwest LA apartment by a neighbor. Police say robbery was the apparent motive. There were no signs of forced entry, and no suspects have been identified.
Anyone who has seen anything, please come forward. We need your help.
Relatives say Albert Patton was best known for his work as co-founder of a world-famous organization, the Harlem Globetrotters.
Miss you. Here you go back.
Their unique brand of basketball comedy has entertained generations. Albert Patton and his Globetrotters helped put smiles on so many faces, but this weekend, his life came to a sudden and violent end. This video shows Patton back in 1986 when a car crashed into his apartment. Over the years, he kept company with sports and Hollywood celebrities, but was best known in his later years for charity, especially scholarships for young people. Now, a spokesman for LA Councilman Nate Holden says a $25,000 reward will be authorized for information leading to the arrest and conviction of whoever is responsible for this double homicide. Now back to the studio.
Fernell, thank you for that report. Now, a Memorial Weekend party in South Central Los Angeles turned violent early today as gunfire cut down 2 people. Now, this was the scene near the corner of 54th Street and Van Ness. Witnesses say that just after midnight, someone drove by the house and opened fire. A 22-year-old woman was hit in the head. Her 20-year-old nephew was also wounded. Both were taken to King Drew Medical Center. A motive for the drive-by shooting, as we speak, is under investigation. Also now, while many of their friends headed for the beach for a day of fun, some local young people got together to talk about some serious issues. The youth conference was held at Cal State Los Angeles. A diverse group of youth leaders spent the day learning new ways to teach their peers and the public about nonviolence. Through a series of workshops, the students learned how violence impacts their lives on many levels. They also picked up valuable tools and resources on how to resolve conflicts without violence. Now, Give Peace a Chance, that's not only a song, but also Southern Californians, young and old, are joining forces to sow the seeds of peace. Bonnie Boswell takes a look at how one local school has taken some special steps to keep kids safe.
It was Columbine, Kayla, and countless other stories of children threatened by violence that prompted the Keeping Safe Kids campaign in Beverly Hills. Students here at Beverly Hills High School are trying to get the word out to their peers that students and their parents can make a difference.
We're trying to get out the message that it can happen here and that we have to try and prevent it.
They put him in a bag and they took him to the coroner's office.
Students began their crusade by listening to those whose lives have been altered by violence. Sherry Barnett still doesn't know who killed her son.
I think at that moment it would have been easier if I had died. I had to figure out a way to go on living without him, and the only way that I can do that is to make sure that no other kids have to have their life ended so young, and no other parents have to feel what it feels like to lose a child.
Richie Brucker is setting up a violence prevention website. There's an anti-violence pledge for students to sign, and educators, community, and religious leaders are all supporting the student initiative.
This is an attempt to get an entire community together talking about an issue that affects all of us.
But for the students, perhaps the most convincing message came from their peer. Lonnie Washington, a former gang member, was shot and left for dead.
I gangbanged for 10 years. This is what you get when you gangbang.
So many other my friends that's dead, you know, so I don't take it as for granted, you know. I'm glad I'm living, and if I got to live in a wheelchair, then so be it. I decided to let somebody else know that they can be better than what I was.
Bonnie Boswell, Channel 4 News.
Now tonight we will have more on Southern Californians taking a stand against violence in our special Seeds of Peace, airing tonight at 6 p.m. here on Channel 4. We hope you can join us for that. And now there has been still another pit bull attack here in the Southland. A woman is hospitalized after a pit bull escapes from a yard and attacks. We'll have details ahead. And if you wear glasses or contacts, you've probably been thinking about those new LASIK procedures, but how much should it cost? Are less expensive eye clinics as good as costlier ones? We'll take a look at that. And it's going to make more money over this holiday weekend than most movies make in their entire runs. A review of Mission Impossible 2 ahead on the Channel 4 News.
V6 7-passenger enormously powerful Odyssey from Honda. It's one big happy minivan.
Used to be a time when being a kid meant fun and laughter. Nowadays it means fear and dodging bullets at school. Join Mike Farrell, Martin Sheen, Colleen Williams, Alfred Woodard, and more for a 1-hour special focusing on real solutions to the violence plaguing our communities and children. And meet some remarkable people whose courage and compassion for peace has touched and inspired countless lives. Join us as we plant seeds of peace tonight at 6 on NBC4, sponsored by GMC.
His presentation to the board was in an hour. And while he managed to keep that trying, well, he wasn't. Which is why he was pleased to discover that our selection of big and tall was not only extensive, but at prices that, well, wouldn't soak him. After all, he had enough of that for one day.
You'll find big and tall sizes at the Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Dateline Sunday, a decorated Vietnam veteran and loving family man, or was he? His dark secrets and hidden identity are revealed in a real-life mystery. Dateline tonight, 8/7 Central.
We can help. No other dealership makes more loans to people with credit problems. Ugly Duckling. 1-800-THE-DUCK.
Welcome back. Now, a Reseda woman is recovering from more than 100 bites that she received when she was attacked by a pit bull and 2 other dogs. Witnesses say that a pit bull named Sarah and 2 other dogs escaped from the owner's yard and attacked the victim, biting her repeatedly. A passerby in a truck and the dog's owner came to the woman's rescue and restrained the dogs. Sarah is now impounded at a city animal shelter and may have to be put to sleep. The Department of Animal Regulation will decide what's to be done with the other 2 animals. And more sad news about Channel 7 reporter Adrienne Alpert. Doctors say that she'll lose most of her left arm as a result of that accident involving her news van last week. Alpert, as you know, was injured when the mast on her news van came far too close to high power lines on Friday. Doctors operated on Alpert, removing a finger and a toe. Besides her arm, doctors at the Grossman Burn Center say that she may lose parts of other limbs as well, and our prayers are with Adrienne. Now, in other news, we've all seen the ads for LASIK clinics telling you to throw away your glasses and offering lower and lower prices. But how good a deal are these low prices? Channel 4's David Cruz tells us.
They are among the newest, fanciest, and fastest growing medical clinics popping up in the trendiest spots in Southern California, doing land rush business.
We're doing 1,000. We have booked 1,000.
That's 1,000 patients off this grand opening special at this one clinic. And here's another new LASIK center in Beverly Hills where price is definitely a plus for them.
Well, $9.95 for both eyes.
That's right. For just $3 a day, you get, voila, eye surgery. But how do they do it? One answer is volume.
It's kind of the same question. How does Costco? They sell the same quality, but how do they keep their prices down?
Costco sells bread, you do eye surgery.
It's a little bit different. We're not pushing it. We're not pushing it as much as selling bread.
But LASIK Vision allows its surgeons to do up to 40 procedures a day. That's up to 10 hours working with a laser doing highly delicate surgery. Why then do other LASIK surgeons, like Dr. David Shapiro, limit themselves to far fewer procedures a day?
This is not something that should be trivialized. This is not something that should be associated with coupons and 2-for-1 deals and cut rate pricing. This is serious surgery.
So when this doctor needed LASIK, it was the results, not price, that came first.
To me, that's the most important part of this. I mean, these are your eyes, probably the most important sense that you have. You want this to be done right the first time.
Dr. Shapiro, listed among the top 30 LASIK surgeons worldwide and selected by the FDA to help set LASIK safety standards, recommends patients check the doctor's training, experience, and references, and watch out for any existing complaints against the doctor or the center. Also, do what avid cyclist Jerry Schmidt did. She spent time
making sure that my eyes were healthy, making sure that my lifestyle matched what we were going to do.
But it may well be this actress's own experience that's the best advice. She lived most of her life with a damaged right eye from a childhood injury.
Don't get your doctors out of the yellow pages.
In Burbank, David Cruz, Channel 4 News.
Well, some good advice, sir. Now, and this is a very sad story. Holiday weekend tragedy in Orange County. A young mother and her 4-year-old daughter both drowned in a backyard swimming pool. It happened just afternoon yesterday at an apartment complex in Aliso Viejo. Police say a passerby saw the victims at the bottom of the pool, pulled them out, and then called for help. A 17-year-old neighbor also assisted.
I saw the guy running around. He didn't know what to do. He just had these 2 drowned people there, and I came down here running. So I went to every single house yelling for help to call 911.
Well, sadly, the woman was pronounced dead at a hospital. The little girl was revived but died last night. Orange County sheriffs are still investigating. Well, there's a new way to perform CPR that experts say will save more lives. We're all familiar, of course, with the traditional CPR. Now experts say that mouth-to-mouth resuscitation may not be the best way to help someone who has stopped breathing. The study found that performing chest compressions was actually far more effective. The American Heart Association will meet later this year to draw up new guidelines for CPR. Well, the astronauts aboard the space shuttle Atlantis are preparing to finally come home. They accomplished everything and more on their visit to the International Space Station, but coming home could present a problem. And after Game 3 went down to the wire, no one expected today's blowout in the Rose Garden. Carlos is live in Portland, ahead on the Channel 4 News.
There's a car out there people are talking about.
This is a bold move for Cadillac.
It's the only car in its class with the executive assistance of OnStar standard.
OnStar.
What is this boldly restyled car that's making the press take notice? It's the 2000 Catera. And now, you can get a Catera with a very attractive lease. Call for important lease details. The 2000 Catera. The power of and. The fusion of design and technology. Cadillac.
At some drugstores, they seem to think people only get sick between 9 and 5. At Save-On, we know better. When most everybody else is closed, there's a Save-On pharmacy near you that's open all day, all night, all year. At Save-On, you can count on people who care.
You expect Sizzler to have half-pound fire-grilled steaks and crispy golden shrimp, but both for just $9.99? Steak and all-you-care-to-eat shrimp, just $9.99. Sizzler, dollar for dollar, the world's best steaks and shrimp and shrimp.
What's exciting to me is to see the families that are there. It's exciting that a family can come together for an issue such as this, maybe an issue that hasn't even touched their lives, but they know that they want to make a difference.
While we're looking for relief from the heat here in Southern California, people in Alaska are enjoying 150 feet of packed snow. The slopes in Girdwood, Alaska are keeping the crowds on their skis and snowboards. This resort could stay open until the end of June, but operators say that by that time, most people are ready for sunny beaches and not snowy hills. And people in Stone County, Arkansas are ready for some sunny beach weather after a bite of nasty weather themselves. Strong thunderstorms drenched the area. Just look at the flood while they're here on the screen. Several homes were damaged, some severely, and a tornado touched down in the small town of Leechville. Several mobile homes were damaged. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and Paul, fortunately, we don't have snow here right now.
No, no snow, no tornadoes, just beautiful weather here in Southern California. We were hot today in the valleys, going to be hot for one more day before we start to cool down, so we're going to end your Memorial Day holiday on a high note. What a day to go to the beach. All right, let's take a look outside. View from our valley cam looking toward Griffith Park Observatory. Now, we have had some unhealthful air quality throughout the basin. That will continue for another day. How warm at the Civic Center today? Well, let's check the high for you. At a high of 84, low of 64. It is now currently 81 degrees, humidity 52%. Looking at the barometer, that is falling winds out of the west at about 8 miles an hour. Almanac information. Normal high and low 75, 59, and we are well above that. Sunrise at 5:44. Sunset will be at 7:58 p.m. All right, let's check a WeatherNet site for you. As we take a look over in Pasadena, LaSalle High School, 90 degrees right now. They're starting to cool down. They had a high today at our WeatherNet site of 97. Taking a look at our national map. Storms, strong thunderstorms moving through the Carolinas. They will have damaging winds with these storms. Torrential rainfall, also possibility of some tornadoes. Some rain up in the upper Midwest, up in the Dakotas, also Pacific Northwest getting some rain. Here in Southern California, high pressure ridge, jet stream to the north of us, sunny and hot for one more day. Marine layer a little more active this morning. We'll start to cool things down along the coastline for tomorrow. High pressure ridge will not budge for at least another day. Then that will start to weaken and move eastward. Now what will happen? The marine layer will start to increase, starts to push its way into the valleys. Cooling off on Tuesday. Our coolest day should be Wednesday. Toward the end of the week, high pressure ridge, it's back, and that means more warm weather again toward the end of the week. Here's what we can expect for tomorrow. Last day of the holiday weekend. Some morning low clouds and fog, a little more extensive tomorrow morning. Mostly sunny, still very hot, still sizzling in the inland valleys. Air quality mainly unhealthful throughout the basin. Some moderate air quality along the coastline, also up on the high and the low desert for you. Let's check the lows and the highs for you. Lows along the coastline will be in the 60s. Now the highs tomorrow, a little bit cooler along the coast. 78 Redondo Beach, 79 for Long Beach, Laguna Beach, expecting a high of 77. In the valleys, overnight lows still in the 60s. Here are the highs for tomorrow. Glendale 97, Monterey Park 86, Santa Ana expecting a high of 79 degrees. Further inland, these are the overnight lows, still mainly in the 60s. Highs tomorrow. Claremont 91, Santa Clarita 96, San Bernardino Riverside up to 99, cooling off a degree or two. How about our local mountains? Lows tonight. Lake Arrowhead 51, highs tomorrow. Hesperia 102, Palm Springs 112. 5-day forecast for you. 82 at the Civic Center. Couple degrees cooler in some areas tomorrow, but still hot in the valleys. Cooling off Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and toward the end of the week, we'll start to warm things up for you again. We have so much more coming up straight ahead, so don't go away. Channel 4 News continues now at 4:30.
Live from NBC4, the station working for you, Southern California's #1 news, the Channel 4 News.
Well, a sea of motorcyclists rolled through the nation's capital today, a patriotic tribute to veterans, especially the POWs, and those still listed as missing in action. Hello again, I'm Manny Madrano, and our top story at 4:30, rolling thunder. Tens of thousands of veterans on motorcycles converge on Washington, D.C. today. Now, this is the annual Memorial Day tribute to those who served and the issues that they still face. Brooke Hart reports.
A rolling sea of chrome and black leather, a tribute on wheels to U.S. veterans.
So we all showed up in force this time to really show America that we really appreciate our veterans.
For many veterans, rolling thunder means reunion. For others, simply communion among those who share a background of service at the place dedicated to those who made the biggest war sacrifice.
Pay respect to the wall. Our boys who got killed over there.
Every year, veterans come here demanding action on the thousands of prisoners of war and servicemen missing in action they say remain overseas, and demanding better health care for the veterans here, some claiming an epidemic of hepatitis C. Because the hepatitis C virus can go undetected for up to 30 years, many Vietnam veterans are finding out only now that they're infected.
Vietnam veterans, we've had to deal with Agent Orange, PTSD, now hepatitis C.
A disease transmitted through blood contact and now not automatically covered by the Veterans Administration.
Well, the medication they got me on for the PTSD, they got to test me every month for my blood because it messes with my liver.
Just the beginning of veterans' health concerns, according to organizers of Rolling Thunder, bringing veterans together each Memorial Day for the last 13 years.
It can be a healing thing or a hurting thing, and it's been both for me.
A bittersweet bond. Today, a mix of loud and quiet reflection. Brooke Hart, NBC News, Washington.
Well, what would Memorial Day be without a Memorial Day parade? And in Brentwood, they held their 24th annual parade and 10K run. Now, the Grand Marshal of the parade was none other than our very own Paul Moyer. Paul was also made honorary mayor of Brentwood. The parade was filled with bands and floats of all kinds, and as always, a good time was had by all. Well, listen to this story. If you think flying an Air Force jet or steering a Navy plane sounds like fun, here's your chance. The Pentagon and Yahoo are sponsoring a contest on the internet offering 5 people the military fantasy job of their dreams for a day. Beverly Kirk explains how the game works.
If you've ever dreamed about jumping with the Army's Golden Knights parachute team, flying in an F-15, or steering an aircraft carrier, now's the time to take action. Just go to yahoo.com on the internet and enter the Fantasy Military Jobs Contest. 5 winners will spend time being soldiers, airmen, and sailors. It's an effort to get more people interested in serving their country.
We find fewer and fewer Americans are really aware of what the military has to offer, its careers, its benefits, the job skills training.
The booming economy means more job opportunities and fewer people choosing the military as a career. The Pentagon says the recruiting efforts are better this year than last, but the numbers are still lower than they'd like for the Army and the Air Force. Part of the reason for the recruiting difficulty, low pay, and reports some military families have had to use food stamps to survive. But the military says 2 recent pay raises have helped. Air shows have long been used to impress potential recruits. Now the Pentagon's hoping its internet contest for a high-tech adventure will also make people consider military service.
I think it's a lot of opportunity for someone that doesn't know what they want to do necessarily.
I personally, I didn't want to go into the military. I still don't. It's, it's not for everyone, but it does seem exciting.
And it's the excitement military leaders are counting on to attract a new generation. Beverly Kirk, NBC News, Washington.
I think I'd like to be on that air carrier. Now, bad weather may get in the way of a planned Memorial Day return for the crew aboard the Space Shuttle Atlantis, but NASA says there's nothing to worry about. This is the crew at work over the weekend. Astronaut Susan Helms says that she isn't bothered about a possible delay in coming home. They have an extra fuel to stay in space until Thursday. Now, get this, the shuttle has a barbecue in the Space Shuttle pantry, so the crew will be able to celebrate the holiday in orbit. The crew spent a week making repairs to the International Space Station. Now, hold on for this story. Forget about roller coasters. If you want a really wild ride, climb aboard NASA's Boeing 707, the only one that they use to train astronauts. It's enough to make even seasoned flyers queasy or worse. John Gregory from our sister station in San Diego recently got a taste of what that's like.
We've all wondered what it would be like
to float through the air without wings or worry. Astronauts do it all the time. And now so do college students and a few lucky journalists like me. NASA is letting us fly on their KC-135, a plane capable of simulating zero gravity.
One of the first things you notice when you walk in this aircraft is that everything is padded. The walls, the ceiling. In zero-G, you never know what you'll be bouncing off of.
To simulate weightlessness, the plane goes through a series of steep climbs and dives called parabolas. Each time the plane drops, those inside experience zero-G for close to 25 seconds. A maneuver the KC-135 completes 30 times each flight. Ups and downs that leave many stomachs behind. That's why they jokingly call this plane the Vomit Comet. In fact, everyone on board gets a handful of barf bags for the ride.
I'm gonna say 10. I've been one off the last 2 days. I'm going to 13. 13? I'll tell you what, if we're at 9, I'm gonna make myself throw up.
The flight crew has fun with a pre-flight pool on how many of us will get sick. The odds don't sound good.
Here we go!
15 minutes into our flight and we climb for the first parabola. As the KC-135 goes over the top, the earthly restraints of gravity are suddenly released. 10 times we climb and drop and the feeling is amazing. And each time I find myself laughing out loud. But then suddenly it happens. The barf bags start coming out. My stomach starts to turn. And on the 15th parabola, halfway through the flight, the smile is wiped from my face.
I've had bitter days.
From euphoria to absolute misery in a matter of seconds. That's how this ride goes for many, much like the up and down flight path of the plane itself. A ride that may take me as close to space travel as I'll ever get. And based on how I felt, as close as I'll ever want to get. John Gregory, Channel 4 News.
Couldn't pay me to get on that plane. Now a spectacular fire lights up the nighttime sky in Glendale. No one is hurt, but the home is reduced to a pile of smoldering rubble. Those details ahead. And to say that there are lapses in security at federal buildings would be a severe understatement. An amazing undercover report that embarrasses the feds when the Channel 4 News returns.
Newlywed Angelina Jolie exposes her bisexuality. On the next Access Hollywood, the Oscar winner gets candid about her love life with women.
I want everybody to know the real truth.
Then, we investigate the latest trend of star men going under the knife and show you the top secret spot they choose to recover. Plus, only we can show you amazing deleted scenes from Jaws and Spielberg in a Speedo. Next, Access Hollywood. Monday at 7:30.
Here on NBC4.
He is considered a mystic, a Zen philosopher crafting a new kind of LA magic.
Now you're starting to get some momentum. Don't let it slide.
They are an approaching storm. One is thunder, frightening and powerful. The other is lightning, flashy and brilliant. With a 12-year championship drought, can these Lakers take back what was once theirs? The Lakers and the NBA Playoffs 2000 on NBC4.
Here's your turkey, hon.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah?
I'm afraid that's not Jenny O turkey.
What? Hey, what are you...
You can always tell Jenny O.
From the taste. It's a little different. A little better. Try it for yourself. Oh, yeah.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, very tasty. You're not real cops, are you?
Book 'em.
Save a lot at Don Cott's huge SUV sale. Ford Explorers, Expeditions, and Excursions all reduced. Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredos just $319 down and $319 a month. Lincoln Navigators, Mercury Mountaineers, Mazda Tributes, Isuzu Troopers and Rodeos, and Kia Sportages all at one convenient location. All discounted for immediate clearance.
You save a lot at Don Cott. The Don Cott Auto Center, San Diego Freeway and Avalon Boulevard in Carson.
Need a good reason to care about the world? We've got millions of them. Care. How many lives can you change today?
Welcome back again. Now, 911 service to 7 Orange County communities took a hit after a power outage caused by, get this, a toy balloon. The balloon hit power lines yesterday. Those lines supply electricity to the MetroNet Dispatch Center. Anaheim, Fullerton, Newport, and Huntington Beach are among the cities forced to go to backup 911 service. Traffic lights were also knocked out, and the backup emergency system took over, and officials say at no time was the 911 system compromised in any way. Well, members of Congress were shocked this past week when they saw with their own eyes how easy it can be to board a plane with a gun or walk armed into a federal office building. Jim Hanchett has more on how it's done and what the government is trying to do to stop this.
Hidden camera pictures show how easy it was for two men posing as plainclothes armed cops to get into supposedly secure buildings and onboard airplanes simply by flashing a fake ID.
At no time during the undercover visits were our agents' identification challenged by anyone.
The General Accounting Office ran the undercover investigation at the request of lawmakers, worried about the easy availability of bogus police badges.
On a single day, they succeeded in penetrating 8 secure buildings. The havoc that could have been wreaked by terrorists during this same period of time is chilling if you think about it.
At Washington's Reagan National Airport, a guard waves the two men under a barricade and around a metal detector. It happens again at Orlando's airport. Same story at the CIA, at the FBI, at the Pentagon. Here at the Justice Department, the phony cops drove a rented van up to the checkpoint. They were waved through. They parked the empty van in the courtyard in the heart of the building. They also went upstairs to Janet Reno's office. She announces plans to tighten security. So do heads of other agencies. It's about time, say the lawmakers, after watching this tape.
And the only way to wake people up is to shock them. And this is shocking.
The lawmakers say they'll now consider banning sales of phony badges, like those so successfully brandished by the phony cops. Jim Hanchett, NBC News, Washington.
Now, sobering stuff there. Now, as you know, if you watch the Channel 4 News Weekend, we are your unofficial implosion station. And when we return, 5 seconds that shook a town in France. But first, let's go to the very famous Carlos Evaya in Portland for a look at what's coming up in sports. Carlos, how are you?
All right, Manny, thank you very much. I'm doing good, but I'm definitely look forward to that implosion. By the way, coming up in sports, a rookie shines at the Indianapolis 500. The Angels used the long ball in a record-setting way today. Plus, Shaq having a good time trying to squeeze into Brian Shaw's jersey today here at the Rose Garden. We'll show you that, plus the very exciting Laker win. So stick around because sports is coming up.
Dateline Sunday, a decorated Vietnam veteran and loving family man, or was he? His dark secrets and hidden identity are revealed in a real-life mystery. Dateline tonight, 8/7 Central.
On the next Extra. Thrill ride. Now you can go from 0 to 80 in less than 2 seconds. But should you? Experts say no.
One amusement park is trying to outdo the next one.
Are these roller coasters a hazard to the human body?
You're taking your life into your own hands.
Then save money on your family's summer vacation. Extra Cyber Guy shows you where to find the best travel deals online. Plus a swimsuit preview from the models who wear them. Get their picks for the new season next Extra.
Monday at 7 here on NBC4.
He died on my youngest daughter's birthday. Since then, I never ever make a birthday party for her. Because on exactly date when my dad's gone, I know it's not fair for my youngest one, but it just brings the sad memory when you have a party and he's not there with us.
I think I've been involved in the walk for probably 9 years. At the AIDS Walk, there's also a huge quilt that's often on display with the names of those who have died from the disease. And I remember a mother once giving me a bracelet with her son's name on it. And she asked me to wear it, and I did for quite some time. And it was important, I think, to both of us. She gave me something, and I felt I had given as well, just by becoming part of this event.
Well, they call it the China Wall, and now one of Europe's biggest housing projects is no more. It took 5 seconds and a half-ton of dynamite to bring down the monster government housing block in Etienne, France. It was built back in the 60s to house 1,200 low-income families, but then it was deemed unsafe 5 years ago. Now a new hospital will be built in its place. And I'm a very happy boy today with the Lakers performance. Carlos Evaya out in Portland. Carlos, it was a thing of beauty to see.
Obviously, Manny, you're definitely a Laker fan, and for all you Laker fans, you have to be excited today. But the bottom line is this. When Glenn Rice gets 21 points and Ron Harper gets 18, it's pretty hard to beat the Lakers. Great game today by them here in the Rose Garden in Game 4 of this Western Conference Final. Best of 7 games, of course. They go back to the Staples Center on Tuesday. But this Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals between the Lakers and Blazers actually started out just like Friday's game, all Portland early on. But the Lakers dug deep and once again got by the Hack-a-Shack and came up again with a very huge win. Lakers had that look of intensity on their face before the tip-off, and boy, they did. But the game was almost a carbon copy of Game 3. Blazers starting strong. Here comes Mr. Scottie Pippen off the miss. Rasheed Wallace got the rebound. He's going to fire it in as the Blazers blazed out to a big lead early, 14-2, but the Lakers kept it close thanks to Shaq's 8 first-quarter points. Nice jam off the miss, and the Lakers trailed by 9 after just 1 quarter. Second quarter coming at you. Kobe, who was scoreless in the first, buries the 3. He had 18. Lakers on a 17-2 run, and they led by 3, but the Blazers were still hot. Steve Smith for the 3 with 1 second left, and the Blazers led 47-42 at the intermission. Let's go to the third quarter now. The Lakers finally got it going. Nice ball movement. In fact, great ball movement and great play by Glenn Rice in the third quarter as he got 3 of his 21. Lakers by 6 with Rice 12 points in the third quarter. This play summed up the Lakers' intensity. Off the Shaq miss, they battled for the board. Robert Horry got it. Passed to Ron Harper for 2 of his 18, and the Lakers suddenly in control. Let's go to Shaq now as he finished with 25 points. Nice move down the baseline for the layup, and he also got the foul. 3-point play for Shaquille O'Neal. He was 9 of 9 at the free throw line today. Shaq on the bench then even put on a Brian Shaw jersey in honor of the suspended guard. As the Lakers went on to win by a final of 103-91, they lead 3-1 and can wrap it up on Tuesday at the Staples Center. And talk about you coming out after halftime and doing what you did the third quarter. Was that just this conscientious effort? Did they talk to you about something, or what happened?
It was. I think, you know, I was kind of disappointed in my play the first half. Had too many turnovers and came out aggressive on the offensive end, and my teammates really were, you know, they started looking for me, setting screens, and, you know, if I can get people to set screens for me like that, we'll have a field day.
Yes, this was the most efficient team victory. The team played excellent ball, and I'm proud of my teammates. And if we can play like that for at least 7 or 8 more games, then we should have what we're going for.
Did you feel that you saw something in that third game that put you in a situation where you could take this fourth game? Did you feel that you saw something?
Well, we knew if we came out and played with that same kind of energy and enthusiasm on the defensive end, anything could happen. And we did that tonight and came out with a win.
And that's exactly what happened. More locker room interviews, of course, next half hour. And by the way, don't forget, you can see Game 5 right here on Channel 4 on Tuesday night beginning at 6 p.m. Of course, preceding with Fred Rogan's pregame show and, of course, followed by Fred Rogan's postgame show. Meantime, rain delayed the start of the Indy 500, but after the clouds cleared, the 84th running of the race finally began. 33 cars got the green flag after nearly 3 hours of the rain delay, but they did finally get the race going. Pole sitter Greg Ray had trouble on lap number 67 after he lost his right tire and his suspension, and that's not good. He was done for the day. Then trouble with the 2 female drivers. Sarah Fisher in the blue car and Lynn St. James bumped tires, and both cars then slid along the wall. No one was hurt. Both drivers were okay, but out of the race. After 200 laps, rookie Juan Montoya took the checkered flag and became the 7th rookie to win the Indianapolis 500. Well, now it's time for some baseball as the Dodgers lost to Philly today by a score of 4-2. Angels in Kansas City wrapping up their series against the Royals. Let's go to highlights. We'll pick it up in the 5th. Angels down 2-0. Darren Erstad, who was 4 for 5 on the day with 2 men on right here, he went deep to right. That thing is gone for a 3-run shot, and the Angels took the lead 3-2. All right, a couple of batters later, Mo Vaughn stood in, and he's going to rip a shot to right for his American League-leading 18th home run of the year, and the Angels were up 4-2. Next batter, Tim Salmon, and he continued the home run derby with a solo shot to left. This was his 11th home run of the year, and Tim Salmon put the Angels up by a score of 5-2. Now it's time for Garrett Anderson to follow Salmon in the lineup, and also follow him with another home run, his 13th of the year, back-to-back jacks for the Angels. 4 home runs in the inning. That set a club record as the Angels went on to beat the Royals by a final of 8-4. Now let's talk about some NCAA baseball. In fact, in the regionals, UCLA beat Oklahoma 11-3 to win that region, advance to next week's Super Regionals. USC beat Fullerton 8-3 to win their region. They also advance. College Softball World Series to tell you about, and we're talking about the women. The Lady Bruins were 2 victories away from the championship in Oklahoma City today, home of the Women's Softball World Series. Top of first against Southern Mississippi. UCLA's Julie Adams went to left, just clearing the outfielder, and that thing is gone. That's a 2-run shot, and it's 2-0 UCLA. Top of second, the Lady Bruins kept pouring it on. Tyra Mims, slug going to left. This time it went off the left fielder's glove, and that thing is out. Another 2-run shot, and just like that, it's all of a sudden 4-0 UCLA. And one more time for good measure, still in the second, Amanda Freed, deep to left, just missed again by the left fielder. Tough day for her. She had a horrible day out there as UCLA wins 6-0 to advance to Monday's title game. Meantime, in golf, rain suspended the final round of the PGA Memorial today, with Tiger Woods still in the lead at 1,700. He is, of course, 6 strokes up. They'll complete the final round, hopefully, tomorrow. And again, the Lakers with a big win over the Blazers today, 103-91 here in the Rose Garden. We'll have more next half hour, so be sure to stick around. I'll see you then.
Thank you, Carlos, and hopefully Tiger will hold on to that lead this time. Well, Los Angeles is an amazing place. Not only do people want to wear what the stars wear and drive what the stars drive, but ahead, Dr. Bruce Hensel takes us into the operating room where surgeons can make you look like the stars. And it's already being touted as the hit film of the summer. We'll have a review of the new Tom Cruise film, Mission Impossible 2. That's coming up next.
Next Friday, the rhythm is gonna get you with Gloria Estefan live on the Plaza. Brought to you by the Incredible Edible Egg and the Today Show on NBC.
You know what I like about exploring the California wilderness?
Oh, tell us, dear.
Discovering the unknown, being miles from anything, straining sights and sounds.
First, hurry into your California Jeep dealer, where only select buyers with preferred credit can get 0% short-term financing on any new Jeep vehicle. Then get out and see what you discover.
What was that?
It's a quail, Braveheart.
I knew that. I did. I knew.
Behind the scenes of SeaWorld's new 4D adventure.
It's a full audience, Captain. Commence 4D cannonball effect. Direct hit. Bees in 3, 2, 1. No response from the kid in 9G. Cue the bird poop.
Experience Pirates, the new higher-than-high-tech attraction, only at SeaWorld.
This pirate gig ain't what it used to be. Ooh, lattes.
Buy Factory Direct. The Jewelry Exchange in Tustin has expanded and now has the largest factory showroom in the U.S. We guarantee our jewelry to be the lowest price. Compare Tiffany's 1-carat invisible bands for over $5,000 with the Jewelry Exchange's GVS quality for $1,600. 1-carat pendants are $249, 2-carat tennis bracelets $349, and 1-carat studs $399. We carry thousands of rings, bracelets, and pendants. We guarantee all our jewelry to appraise for at least double. The Jewelry Exchange in Tustin.
You expect Sizzler to have half-pound fire-grilled steaks and crispy golden shrimp, but both for just $9.99? Steak and all-you-care-to-eat shrimp, just $9.99. Sizzler, dollar for dollar, the world's best steaks and shrimp and shrimp.
Thank you for joining us. Now here's a chance to rub elbows with a Hollywood star or two while doing something to help others. The stars pitch in to help people who cannot read. Kent Shocknick has more on how you can get in on the act.
Steve Truitt's best known for his TV traffic reports and movie roles, but it's what he does inside this recording booth that's the most meaningful.
Here we go.
Truitt's one of hundreds of volunteers who records textbooks onto tape. The group Recording for the Blind and Dyslexic, RFBD, ships off the tapes for anyone who needs them, students, professionals, adults, and kids.
Recording for the blind and dyslexic.
Each year, RFBD's Hollywood office throws a recording party and invites actors and others to try their hand at recording page after page cold. And those celebs learn there are secrets.
Be sure you eat and eat properly before you come. Otherwise, it's and you have to stop every time that happens.
Get it right and get it quick. As a wonderful old stage actor said, you get on, you get off, and you don't get any on you.
Dennis Haskins of Saved by the Bell and movies comes back each year, and others do too. But the real stars are full-time volunteers like Truett, here getting some coaching from voiceover artist Dick Gaudier. Steve says he's reading about Italian musical genius Paganini. Gaudier says no, not Paganini.
What was that? Page 9. Oh.
Kent Shockneck, Channel 4 News.
Well, now, if you'd like to volunteer to read, we'll show you how to do it. Log on to our website at NBC4LA.com and click on news links to get in touch with RFBD. And a new celebrity mom to tell you about today, the star of NBC's Providence, Melina Kanakaridis, has given birth to a baby girl. Providence is a winning drama in the NBC primetime lineup. Kanakaridis managed to conceal her pregnancy during the season, and she gave birth last Tuesday to her first child, weighing in at 7 pounds, 12 ounces. Well, Michelle Pfeiffer and Nicole Kidman have each have bet George Clooney $10,000 that he'll be married before he's 40 years old, but it's beginning to look like they both will lose. You may recall that Pfeiffer co-starred with Clooney in the romantic comedy One Fine Day, in which each played divorced single parents who fall in love. Clooney turns 40 in 11 months, and since he has no plans to tie the knot and is now single again, he'll probably be able to claim those winnings. And the summer movie season is swinging into high gear. The official box office standings won't be available until Tuesday, but Paramount Studios is already estimating that Mission Impossible 2 will take in, get this, more than $80 million in its first 5 days. Sarah Edwards has a review.
Morning, Mr. Hunt. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, involves recovery of a stolen item designated Chimera.
In MI2, Tom Cruise as Special Agent Ethan Hunt must stop terrorists from releasing a deadly virus in a money-making scheme. Anthony Hopkins gives the orders.
I don't think I can do it.
I mean, it'll be difficult.
Very.
Well, this is not mission difficult, Mr. Hunt. It's mission impossible.
Then Cruise is off and running. He must recruit a professional thief to help him in his mission. Beloved star Tandy Newton adds real sparks.
Do you mind if I'm on top?
Either way works for me.
Their courtship is sexy and slick thanks to the vision of director John Woo. The mission, Newton must reconnect with an ex-boyfriend in Australia who just happens to be the terrorist responsible for stealing the Chimera virus.
She's a woman. She's got all the training she needs.
And Tom doesn't like it. He's intense. His feelings for Newton add a nice sexual undercurrent as the action unfolds. Ving Rhames as computer genius Luther Stickle adds his usual confidence and humor.
This ain't funny.
And Scottish actor Dougray Scott is great as the handsome villain on a destructive mission. The real star, though, is John Woo, whose trademark action sequences bring MI2 into the new millennium. You really should call this John Woo's Mission Impossible. Any original flavor from the 60s TV show is pretty much gone. The slow-mo action scenes are vintage Woo, and Cruise has never looked better. The Anthony Hopkins cameo was too brief for me, but I definitely recommend that you take this ride because when it comes to heart-pounding action, mission accomplished. Sarah Edwards, NBC News.
Well, coming up on the Channel 4 News at 5, we're going back to Sonia Crawford live in Hawthorne for the very latest on the crash of a small plane and the loss of 3 lives. And the Los Angeles police are asking for your assistance in finding the suspects wanted in a car-to-car shooting that left 2 people in very critical condition. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Steve Busjager from what I like to call Star World of Cars on Brand Boulevard in Glendale. Last year alone, we sold over 6,000 cars, trucks, and utility vehicles. But I guess that shouldn't surprise me, because with over 1,000 vehicles to choose from, we have something for everyone.
Is there a Focus in your future? Get yours at Star Ford this week, only $11,995. Better hurry.
Come to Star World of Cars, and if we don't have what you're looking for at a price you want to pay, chances are it doesn't exist.
Ready to order?
Yes. Yeah.
You want me to come back? No. You go first.
You go first.
Well, I always go first.
I'll come back.
Oh, wait.
Great. Lost her.
At Hometown Buffet, you're not pressured to choose. You're surrounded with choices. Over 90, prepared fresh each day. So you can have whatever you want, whenever you're ready.
We're ready.
We're starving.
Hello?
Hometown Buffet. Great choice.
He
is considered a mystic, a Zen philosopher crafting a new kind of LA magic.
Now you're starting to get some momentum. Don't let it slide.
They are an approaching storm. One is thunder, frightening and powerful. The other is lightning, flashy and brilliant. With a 12-year championship drought, can these Lakers take back what was once theirs? The Lakers and the NBA Playoffs 2000 on NBC4.
Progressive valve shock absorbers, vibration damping engine mounts, four-wheel double wishbone suspension. Some people call it pushing the envelope. Others see it as a dedication to always improve. Why do we do all these things? To create the perfect environment for a quiet ride home. The Accord for the year 2000. You can see Honda in the details. Now get special APR financing as low as 3.9% for 36 months on new four-cylinder Accords.
Live from NBC4, the station working for you, Southern California's #1 news, the Channel 4 News.
This is the scene in Hawthorne, the burned-up wreckage of a small plane that crashed on a major street, just missing a fast food restaurant. No one aboard. The plane survived. Now investigators must find out what went wrong. Welcome back. I'm Manny Medrano, and I hope you're having a very nice holiday weekend. And our top story at 5, incredibly, no one on the ground was hurt. Channel 4's Sonia Crawford is live at the crash scene in Hawthorne with the story. Sonia, it's amazing. No one on the ground was hit.
That's right. It probably is very fortunate. This was a holiday. There's a school about a block away, many office buildings. The pilot did a very good job of landing in an area that didn't have a lot of people. Unfortunately, it wasn't a smooth landing. It was a crash. Now, we are on El Segundo Boulevard just east of Hawthorne, and that's just about a mile from Hawthorne Airport. As you can see behind me, the cleanup and investigation into this crash continues. Apparently, the pilot knew something was wrong and was trying to turn back. When you look at what's left of this single-engine Piper Malibu, you quickly realize the people inside didn't have a chance.
But as soon as it hit impact, it was flames. It was, you know, that was it. It was just a big old ball of flames, so no chance.
One man and 2 teenage girls got on the plane at Hawthorne Airport around noon, headed for Las Vegas. Something went wrong during the departure sequence.
There was no communication between the pilot and the tower to indicate he was having trouble or returning to the airport.
They never made it, instead narrowly missing a Taco Bell and crashing into the back parking lot of a Hawthorne strip mall. Jeffrey Terry was just 1 block away.
I heard the sputtering, and he was trying to make a turn. The plane was trying to make a turn, and it just like made a nosedive straight down, and boom, explosion.
Now again, people at the airport assumed that this was a family, the man and 2 teenagers who were traveling together. You know, there were several explosions because the burned out plane knocked over a power transformer, and that's why a lot of people who initially ran to see if they could help had to run back out of the area because it was still too dangerous. Southern California Edison has been on scene trying to restore power to area businesses that were affected by this power outage. Live in Hawthorne, Sonia Crawford, Channel 4 News.
Sonia, thank you very much for that report. Well, gang members are evidently at war in San Pedro. 2 people remain in critical condition tonight after a violent car-to-car shooting, and today, police are investigating several possible related attacks. Now, Ted Chen is live right now as we speak in San Pedro, where investigators just released new details on this case. Ted.
Manny, we are talking about a particularly violent and reckless gang member who may be responsible for up to 6 shootings in the past 2 weeks. The most recent shooting taking place last night on this street corner, one that put 2 men in the hospital in critical condition. Now, this is the suspect, 22-year-old James Ruben Rodriguez, also known as Chemo. Yesterday, detectives believe Rodriguez pulled up in a light blue Toyota van at this intersection of 25th and Patton, fired several shots at 2 rival gang members in another car. Both of those men, 19-year-old Trevon Green and 18-year-old Jabori Meter, are in critical condition. Rodriguez is also wanted for a Wednesday shooting at 461 West 9th Street, the attempted murder of 5 people standing in front of a church.
Well, he's armed and he's very dangerous. He has shown his willingness and ability to shoot at people and seriously hurt them and maybe even kill them.
And here is once again James Ruben Rodriguez, also known as Chemo, the murder suspect, a male Hispanic, 5'7", 170 pounds, with tattoos on both arms and a mole on the right cheek. And once again, detectives believe he may be responsible for up to 6 recent shootings in the last 2 weeks. So if you have any information, please call this number. Harbor Police, LAPD Harbor Division at 310-548-7603. Once again, he is considered armed and dangerous. Reporting live from San Pedro, Ted Chen, Channel 4 News. Manny, back to you.
Thank you, Ted, for that report. Well, there's a $25,000 reward that's going out this afternoon to help find suspects in the brutal murder of Albert Patton. The co-founder of the Harlem Globetrotters also murdered his wife. The couple were found stabbed to death this morning in their South LA home. Patton was 90 years old. His wife, Edna, was 85. Relatives are asking the public for help in finding these vicious killers.
Anyone who has seen anything, please come forward. We need your help. My aunt and uncle did not have children of their own, but they contributed to many charities and they provided scholarships to many students throughout their lifetime. We really need your support to solve this horrible crime.
Well, police say that the robbery was an apparent motive. So far, no suspects. Police are hoping that the $25,000 reward will spur someone to come forward with vital information. And also a tragic twist on this holiday weekend for one Glendale family whose home was reduced to charred ruins by a fire today. The blaze erupted at a house in the 3300 block of Chevy Chase Drive early this morning, and the flames spread to 2 vehicles. Fire crews arrived on the scene and quickly took control. After 30 minutes, most of the flames were put out. No one was hurt. The family is apparently out of town for the holiday. However, the damage estimate is at nearly $300,000. No word yet on what caused this fire. Also, a warning comes out this weekend over a very popular smoke alarm. It's being recalled for possible defects. This is what it looks like. It carries the brand names of Universal and Safety Alert. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says that the alarms can fail to detect smoke or fire, and there are reports of an electrical part in the unit that actually starts to burn. Now, 34,000 of the alarms are being recalled. Most of them have been installed, evidently, in newer homes. Well, hot weather, dry winds, and tall brush could make for a bad fire season this year. Channel 4's Doug Kriegel looks at how our local fire departments are preparing to take on these fires.
Fires like this one at Los Alamos, where more than 400 homes burned, are violent forces of nature. The people who fight these flames are always looking for new ways to save lives, homes, and property. How about this technique being used by an LA County firefighter to keep forest fires from spreading? This chemical foam will protect trees for several hours, and it can be used to keep flames away from homes.
We use it a lot for structure protection. It works nice to put a blanket of foam on a house, so if we've got fire coming through, we can concentrate on other areas, and essentially the house is safe for a while.
This fire attack pack that can be sprayed on homes and coat them from flames was actually invented when somebody discovered that diapers didn't burn. So now the same gel used in diapers is used in this firefighting foam.
Homeowners could buy this, and it's available to the homeowners.
Here's another new fire attack invention. This firefighter is carrying 400 feet of hose on his back. Normally the backpack would hold only 100 feet of hose. So this longer hose pack offers greater flexibility in fighting the flames.
A lot more hose you can carry on your back, where the other packs only carry 100 feet.
Sometimes firefighters are overrun by flames. Now they have these aluminum pup tents so that firefighters can stay alive under the fire. Doug Kriegel, Channel 4 News.
Well, this story of interest for Southern California beachgoers. The watchdog group Heal the Bay issued its annual report this week on the best and worst beaches in Southern California. Red dye tests like this one recently in Huntington Beach helped detect the bacteria. At the bottom of the Heal the Bay's list was Channel Islands Beach in Ventura County, said to have the water with the highest bacteria content. Other beaches with low marks included Cabrillo, in San Pedro, and Surfrider in Malibu. Well, now if you're still thinking about getting away and you want to avoid crowds, you might want to steer away from these places we're about to share with you. They're AAA's most popular local destinations. Disneyland is number 5, Santa Barbara number 4, third place is Palm Springs, number 3 is San Diego, That was number 2. The number 1 destination for Southern California travelers this weekend, take a guess, is Las Vegas. Now, if you're planning to hit the road this weekend, take down this number and give it a call before you head out. The California Highway Information Hotline is 800-427-7623. Well, would you like to look like your favorite celebrity if you could? You can when we return, because Dr. Bruce Hensel reports on a new facelift technique that could help you look like Cindy Crawford or Tom Cruise. And Paul Johnson says we've got one more day of serious heat. He's next when the Channel 4 News returns.
The only thing that comes close to the thrill of driving a new Dodge is the fun of getting a great deal on one. Now do both during the Dodge Drive Into Summer Tent event. For 6 days only, very well-qualified customers can get 0% short-term financing on every new Dodge in stock. Or choose generous cash allowances of $750 to $1,750 on select vehicles. But the special financing offer ends May 30th, so zero in on the Dodge Drive Into Summer Tent event. Going on now at your friendly Dodge dealer.
Hate mosquitoes? Get what mosquitoes hate. Thermacell, the one repellent that works.
In U.S. Army tests, Thermacell is proven to be the most effective area repellent system against mosquitoes and other flying insects.
State-of-the-art and easy to use. Slide in the repellent mat and click it on. Thermacell protects an area this big, and it's long-lasting. Forget messy sprays or lotions. Get Thermacell, the most effective repellent you can buy.
Thermacell's available at Big Kmart, Longstrugs, Walgreens, and Save-On.
On an all-new Dateline Monday, does this man look disabled to you? He claimed he was too injured to work, but hidden cameras revealed his secret. An all-new Dateline Monday.
And now on Mondays, start your week with a Law & Order twist.
You did to her just what you did to her sister.
Mondays at 9/8 Central.
This is outside the scope of your authority.
Extra episodes of Law & Order.
We'll hit them with everything we have.
Emmy-winning Law & Order, now on Mondays at 9/8 Central on NBC.
We can help. No other dealership makes more loans to people with credit problems. Ugly Duckling. 1-800-THE-DUCK.
Cleanup crews had their hands full this weekend in the Fairfax district. They've been working on an oily mess near the La Brea tar pits. The bubbly goo started flowing into several streets of the Mid-Wilshire district yesterday from a broken underground pipe on South Ogden Drive. Several streets between Fairfax and Crescent Heights were blocked off while the crude was cleaned up. Crews brought in sand to help sop up the sludge. County hazmat teams were also on the scene since some of this goop evidently escaped into the drains. Well, we'd like now to go to Paul Johnson. Paul, how much longer will this hot weather last again?
One more day of hot weather in the valleys, and then we're going to start to cool things down for you. So we get through the holiday weekend with some super weather. Head to the mountains or head down here to the beach. A lot of folks just don't want to go home. Temperature down Santa Monica Beach was 81 degrees today, so it's been a little pleasant. Little bit cooler, but still pretty nice beach weather coming our way tomorrow. All right, let's check the high downtown at the Civic Center. Had a high of 84, low of 64. It is now currently 80 degrees, humidity 55%. Looking at the barometer, that is falling. Winds variable about 6 miles an hour. Almanac information, there's your normal high and low. And of course, your sunrise and sunset times. Let's check out weather at site. So we'd take a look out in the Inland Empire out of San Bernardino. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, 93 right now. They've cooled down a little bit. Had a high of 99 and a little breeze out of the south at about 21 miles an hour. Let's take a look at our satellite picture. High pressure ridge, we have it for one more day. A little bit cooler, a little deeper marine layer along the coast tomorrow morning, so a couple degrees cooler along the coast, but still hot inland. And then we'll start to cool off Tuesday on through Thursday. But for tomorrow, the last day of the holiday, morning low clouds and fog, then it's going to be mostly sunny and still hot in the inland valleys. Moderate air quality of the coast. It is going to be unhealthful air elsewhere. All right, here are the lows and the highs for you. Lows tonight along the beach will be in the 60s, with the highs tomorrow a couple degrees cooler in the upper 70s. Some areas in the mid 70s, like Culver City, expecting a high of 74. In the valleys, overnight lows will be in the 60s. Highs tomorrow. Burbank, 92 again, same as today. Santa Ana cooling off to 79. West Hollywood expecting a high of 81. They get A little sea breeze from the ocean that'll hold them down into the lower 80s. They're the overnight lows out inland. Altadena with a high tomorrow 90, 99 for San Bernardino, Riverside, Temecula expecting a high of 90. Up in our local mountains, 51 for a low tonight. That's warm. Lancaster with a high tomorrow 94. Palm Springs 112 degrees. Blythe, by the way, at a high today of 112. 5-day forecast. Couple degrees cooler tomorrow. Still hot in the inland valleys, but Tuesday through Thursday will start to cool things down. Deeper marine layer and cooler temperatures even in the valleys. But then by Friday, high pressure ridge back, and we're going to start to warm things up again. So keep the sunblock handy. You're going to need it this
112.
summer.
I can't even count that high in Palm Springs.
Yeah, that's good golfing weather.
Well, yeah, that's why I live here, not there. Thank you very much, Paul. Well, the Lakers surprised everyone but themselves at the Rose Garden today. We will go back shortly to Carlos Del Valle live in Portland, and he'll talk to the birthday boy, so stay right there.
The world's most complete selection of SUVs is on sale now at Don Cott, with four-wheel drive prices starting at just $12,995. Ford Explorers, Expeditions, and Excursions, Jeep Grand Cherokees, Lincoln Navigators, Mercury Mountaineers, Mazda Tributes, Isuzu Troopers and Rodeos, and Kia Sportages, all discounted for immediate clearance.
You save a lot at Don Cott. The Don Cott Auto Center, San Diego Freeway and Avalon Boulevard in Carson.
I am Muriel Romeo. Hi, this is Betsy. Betsy and I help the customer by lowering our prices. Even way up here, the prices are low. Betsy and I put on a lot of miles every year. If people don't like to save money, then they're just lying. If you want to find the lowest price guaranteed, just follow me. If you find a lower price somewhere else, I'd like to know about it.
The Home Depot, now located north of the 101 on Windy Drive in Thousand Oaks.
Hi.
We need to see what's in the bags, man.
Is this about the parking tickets?
Got it. Can you explain this?
It's just turkey.
It's not Jenny O.
What?
You can always tell Jenny O from the taste.
It's a little different, a little better. Try it.
Good, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Try to be a little more careful next time.
You're not real cops, are you?
Diamonds, the gift that lasts forever. The Jewelry Exchange in Tustin imports all their diamonds direct. They carry thousands of diamonds, most GIA or EGL certified, and all the guaranteed lowest prices. 1-carat solitaires start at $5.99. The Jewelry Exchange makes all their jewelry in their state-of-the-art factory and has hundreds of rings, pendants, earrings, and bracelets. Only the Jewelry Exchange in Tustin guarantees all their jewelry to a price for at least double, that's right, double the purchase price. Buy factory direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange in Tustin.
Add up the number of times you've ever said, I really want to, but I probably shouldn't. Now, subtract that number by 1. Introducing Mitsubishi's No Excuses event. Now you can buy any new 2000 Mitsubishi, the fastest growing Japanese car company in America, with just 1.9% APR for 5 whole years. Of course, this equation only works if you can stop saying, hurry, Mitsubishi's No Excuses event won't last long.
Well, as you saw right here on Channel 4, the Lakers gave notice to the Portland Trail Blazers that the Lakers rule, and Carlos is live in Portland. Carlos, must have been a lot of fun to watch this ball game today.
Manny, I couldn't have said it better, but I'm going to try. Welcome back to the Rose Garden, everybody here. And, of course, the Lakers with a big win in Game 4 against the Portland Trail Blazers. As you saw right here on Channel 4, the Lakers actually gave notice to the Blazers that they will not be intimidated and, in fact, are serious about winning the Western Conference Finals against the Blazers. Let's go to the highlights. Lakers had that look, of course, of intensity on their face before the tip-off, and why not? But the game was almost a carbon copy of Game 3. Blazers starting off strong, as they did in Game 3, off the Scottie Pippen miss. Rasheed Wallace got the rebound, fired it back in. The Blazers blazed out to a big lead, but the Lakers kept it close thanks to Shaq's 8 first-quarter points. He has a nice jam off the miss, and the Lakers only trailed by 9 after 1, but still a lot. Second quarter time, Kobe, who was scoreless in the first, buried the 3. He had 18 on the day. Lakers on a 17-2 run, and they led by 3. But the Blazers still hot. Steve Smith, an amazing shot, a 3 with 1 second left, as the Blazers led 47-42 at the intermission. Third quarter action coming at you now. Lakers finally got it going. Nice ball movement. And Glenn Rice, who had 12 points in the third quarter, came back out firing for 3 of his 21, and the Lakers were up by 6. This play, though, summed up the Lakers' intensity. Off the Shaq miss, they battled for the board. Robert Horry got it, passed to Ron Harper for 2 of his 18. Big day for Harper, and the Lakers suddenly in control. Shaq finished with 25 points. Nice move down the baseline, and he also got the layup, and he got the foul. A 3-point play. He was 9 for 9 from the fourth free throw line, rather, and of course the hack of Shaq did not work. Shaq on the bench, meantime, to end the game, and he even put on Brian Shaw's jersey in honor of the suspended guard. The Lakers won 103-91. They lead 3 games to 1 and can wrap it up on Tuesday at the Staples Center. What did you see in the last game that sort of put you in a situation where you thought to yourself, we can win this next game too? It should not be a problem. What put you in that situation, you think?
I don't think it was anything. I think it's just we realized that we just swing the ball and keep the ball hopping. You know, don't try to just force it in on one side. You know, they make their defense move because their defense is great because all the guys are so long and active that if you stay on one side, they can get their hands on balls.
Do you want to finish them off on Tuesday? Is that what's kind of the mindset as you go back to Los Angeles?
Yes, we have to play smart, play aggressive, play together, and just have a lot of enthusiasm. And if we do that, we should be fine.
This is obviously a huge win going back in. You guys want to finish this thing off going back home?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Get it over and done with, right?
Yeah, so Staples Center, rock and roll, baby. We're coming home.
Yes, they are. They're coming home for Game 5 on Tuesday, of course, 6 o'clock, and you can watch that game right here on NBC4. But don't forget Fred's post-game show and pre-game show. Pre-game show, which, of course, starts around 15 minutes before the game starts, and, of course, the post-game show right after. Meantime, rain delayed the start of the Indy 500 today, but after the clouds cleared, the 84th running of the race finally began. 33 cars got the green flag after nearly 3 hours of the rain delay, but the race finally did get going, and pole sitter Greg Ray had trouble on lap number 67 after he lost his right tire and his suspension. He was done for the day. That'll probably do it to you, won't it? Meantime, trouble with the 2 female drivers, Sarah Fisher in the blue car and Lynn St. James, bumped tires, and both cars then slid along the wall. No one was hurt. Both drivers were okay, but out of the race. After 200 laps, rookie Juan Montoya took the checkered flag and became the 7th rookie to win the Indianapolis 500. All right, time for some baseball news, and of course the Dodgers were home against the Phillies, so let's go to the stadium. Everyone lubing up for a hot one between the Phillies and the Dodgers. Probably a beautiful day for baseball. Bottom of 4 now, 1-0 Dodgers. Chad Kreuter, the man in the middle, of course, of the Chicago fan brawl, did some damage with his bat. A solo home run to left, and the Dodgers had a 2-0 lead. But the Dodgers in the bullpen could not make it stand up. Top of 7, after a double tied it, Antonio Osuna gave up the base hit to right. The go-ahead run scored when Sean Green's throw wasn't even close, and the Phillies led by a score of 3-2. Now it's time to go to bottom of the ninth. 4-2 still. Phillies starter Randy Wolf from West Hills and El Camino Real High. He pitched for El Camino at Dodger Stadium in the '94 high school playoffs, and we're going to go to the final out. Wolf pitched a 6-hitter to win his first major league complete game. The Phillies over the Dodgers by a final of 4-2. Meantime, the Angels, Darren Erstad and the Angels in Kansas City, wrapping up their series against the Royals. In the 5th, down 2-0. Erstad, who was 4 for 5, went deep to right. That thing has gone for a 3-run homer. The Angels took a 3-2 lead. A couple of batters later, Mo Vaughn stood in. He ripped a shot to right for his American League leading 18th home run of the year, and the Angels were up 4-2. Now it's time for the next batter, Tim Salmon, and he continued the home run derby with a solo shot to left, his 11th of the year. It's 5-2 Angels. Who comes up next? Garrett Anderson. And guess what he does? He follows Salmon in the lineup and also followed him with another home run. His 13th. We had back-to-back jacks for the Angels. 4 home runs in the inning to set a club record for Anaheim as they went on to beat the Royals by a final of 8-4. NCAA baseball to tell you about. UCLA beat Oklahoma 11-3 to win the region, advance to next week's Super Regionals. USC beat Fullerton 8-3 to win the region, advance also. Meantime, in the College Softball World Series, the Lady Bruins, they beat Southern Mississippi to advance to tomorrow's championship game against Oklahoma State. By the way, in golf, France suspended the final round of the PGA Memorial today with Tiger Woods still in the lead at 17 under. He's, of course, 6 strokes ahead of the rest of the pack. And, of course, Tuesday night at the Staples Center, Game 5, the Blazers and the Lakers, preceded, of course, by Fred Rogan's pregame show and followed, of course, by the postgame show. That's all from here in Portland from the Rose Garden. I'm Carlos Del Valle. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Thank you, Carlos. I say Indiana Lakers. Well, rock drummer Tommy Lee is spending the holiday weekend in jail, and this is the Motley Crue drummer in court earlier this month. Yesterday, a judge in Malibu ordered Lee to spend 5 days in jail for violating his parole by drinking alcohol. Lee was convicted, as you know, for domestic violence for assaulting his estranged wife, Pamela Anderson Lee. The rock drummer is scheduled to begin touring as a solo artist as early as next week, but not before he's let out of jail on Wednesday for yet another court hearing. And it's official, pop star Britney Spears has set a new sales record with her hit album, Oops, I Did It Again. With over 1 million albums sold in the first week of release, Britney has broken the record for first week sales by a female artist. The previous record holder was Celine Dion. Britney is currently in rehearsal for a summer tour. And she's an American icon known for setting fashion trends, but now Barbie has met her match in world-famous designer Bob McKee. The celebrity fashion designer is teaming up with Mattel in his latest inspiration, the Barbie Statue of Liberty doll. Mackie unveiled a new doll in New York City. The new doll's introduction coincides with the grand opening of a newly designed Barbie boutique collector's gallery at toy retailer FAO Schwarz. And listen to this story now. You too can look like a Hollywood star. New plastic surgery techniques may be able to make you look like Marilyn Monroe or Elvis or Carlos Del Valle or any other celebrity. Dr. Bruce Hensel visited one surgeon recently who specializes in celebrity-style facelifts.
Is this Michael Jackson or is this Michael Jackson? Now this is really Stephen Earhart with fans who mistook him for Michael. Now, here's what Stephen looked like before. And 4 plastic surgeries later, he looks like this, just like Michael.
I've had my nose, chin, cleft, and I had a facelift.
Stephen's first surgeries were done by Jackson's plastic surgeon, Stephen Hoffman. He went to Dr. Nicholas Shugay for the facelift. Now, Shugay, with patient Stephen Radford here, specializes in helping people to look like celebrities.
I've done 2 Elvises so far. Now I'm working on getting a Marilyn Monroe, and we're almost there. In our culture, people almost worship celebrities. Maybe they don't have much excitement in their lives, and here, by looking like somebody like Michael Jackson or Marilyn Monroe or Ricky Martin, they're going to feel better. They're going to have excitement in their lives.
Stephen Radford wanted to look more like Tom Arnold.
Well, I started with a liposuction of the chin and neck. Then I had several liposuctions of the torso and upper chest. I had eyelid jobs, front and lower. I had the Bechot operation where they take the fat out of the cheeks. And I had a chin implant and a facelift.
Shugay says he can only make you look like a famous person if tests show your face can take it.
Their anatomical structure, their bony structure, is somewhat similar to the person they want to represent.
Shugay's assistant begins by taking a photo of the patient and then computerizing it. Dr. Shugay divides the face into different sections on the computer. He then looks at each separate one to see exactly what needs to be done. Radford needed a total of 10 different surgeries. Here's what he looked like before and after the procedures were done.
Well, it was a little painful, but it was worth it. I would look like Tom a little bit anyway. Tom is 15 years younger than I, so the surgeries made me look younger and more quote-unquote Tomish.
Radford now makes his living as a Tom Arnold lookalike. Stephen Earhart owns Hollywood Secret Salon, hair and makeup for real stars. He does occasional lookalike appearances, but that's not why he had the surgeries.
I love Michael. I like his looks. He's a great guy. He's loved by the world.
And you want to look like him?
I enjoy looking like him.
Dr. Bruce Hensel, Channel 4 News.
Well, remember, for the procedures to work, you need to have bone structure that is similar to your favorite star. The cost now, you're asking no doubt, anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000. Well, that's our news at 5. Thank you for making us your choice for news. Nightly News is up next, and we'll be back at 11 right after the NBC movie of the week, Inherit the Wind, starting right here on Channel 4 at 9. Goodbye.
Monday at 6, they went from internment camps to the front lines. Now, 55 years later, a long overdue honor. Our Gordon Tokamatsu will introduce you to these World War II heroes and show you how they're being honored. Monday at 6 on the Channel 4 News.
On the next Access Hollywood, newlywed Angelina Jolie exposes her bisexuality. Plus, the celebrity skinny on male plastic surgery and amazing deleted scenes from Jaws. Next Access Hollywood.
Monday at 7:30.
No doubt about it. When you want to save, you're first at Ralph's in every way. Gonna make a difference day after day.
Now, your Ralph's Club card could be your ticket anywhere American Airlines flies in the Ralph's Club Dream Stakes Vacation Getaway. Every day, a Ralph's Club shopper will win air travel for two, plus $2,000 cash, or win free Minute Maid fruit juices and drinks for a year, only at Ralph's.
This Memorial Day, Pontiac and GMC have your ticket to ride. Ride in now, and for a limited time, ride out with a $500 bonus. A $500 bonus, which you can add to a 2000 Grand Am solid value SE for a total value of $2125. Add your bonus to a 2000 GMC four-door Jimmy, and you've got a total of $2500 cash back. Don't miss your ticket to ride and get your bonus before the Pontiac and GMC Ticket to Ride rides away May 31st.
Watch Chuck, Kelly, Fritz, and Fred working for you weeknights at 6.